Welcome to our tutorial on how to use Edmodo. To get to Edmodo, you first want to go into your web browser to edmodo.com, and it's described as a secure social learning network for teachers and students, and I more simply call it Facebook for education. And I do like the idea that it is secure because I have not seen any problems, and it really is a great way to have your students work together online, but have it in a walled garden where they're not exposed to the whole world like something like Facebook would be. So if you are new to Edmodo, again, you're going to go to edmodo.com, and you're going to want to sign up as a teacher. So the first screen you'll see, it'll say sign up now, it's free, and you'll click on I'm a teacher. You'll set up a username and a password, and really that username and password is going to be unique to you. The username is unique to you. It's not something that the students are going to see. So it can be something that is a little personal or something that you remember, or part of your email address or whatever. It does not get seen by the students. They're going to know you by your name and not your username. You'll fill in your email, your title, and it'll ask you a few more questions about your first and your last name, and you'll sign up. After clicking on a verification email, you're going to be good to go, and you'll be able to log in and see Edmodo. So as you log in, you're going to come into a screen, and when I log in, you're going to see that I have actually a couple classes already set up, and I do have connections to other groups as well. So it's not just a place for students, but it's a place that teachers can also work together and connect. So first of all, I'm going to come into my main class, which is called Armitage's Class 2012-2013. And right away, I can see the work that my students have done. And this is work that they have done for research, and they were asked to go ahead and make a post. If you're familiar with the idea of wall posts, messages, commenting, putting up links like you would on Facebook, then you already know most of what you could do with Edmodo. It's a very intuitive interface, and something that is not something you're going to have to figure out, something that's going to be pretty basic and easy. So right now I have an assignment I want to give my students, and it's an article on timeforkids.com. And I want them to respond to this article, and I want them to draw a conclusion from this informational text. So I'm going to go ahead and take this link, and I'm going to create an assignment for my students. So when I come in here and create an assignment, I can just click in the front and create an assignment. And I'm going to say drawing conclusions. This is something that recently on our tests that they had difficulties with. And I'm going to just describe the assignment. Draw conclusions from informational text. I don't type as well as I think. And I'm going to make a due date on it. And I'm going to go ahead and make that due date next Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And I'm going to add the link to that article. So when I put that link, it's going to look for the title of that web page, and it's already found it. And when I click attach, it's going to look a lot like a post that you would have on Facebook. Now, I could either schedule this assignment for now, or I could send it now, or I could schedule it for later. So I'm going to go ahead and send it now. But scheduling is kind of nice, so you could set up your assignments and have someone else and have those assignments for the future that students come up and see new information. And I'm going to go ahead and hit send. And now that assignment is live in my classroom, and you will see that here's information. I can view the history of the students who have done this assignment. They will turn it in. And what's great is I could edit this at any time. If I want to add more information, if I want to give them more information, more to the assignment, add a comment on what the major reasons for the return of the gorilla population. Now, with that information, now I can have my students go ahead and add a comment to that assignment. And I want them to not just comment on their own, make their own comments, but I want them to respond. So what's really great about Edmodo is that they're able to respond with each other. So creating an assignment, you can also create a poll. And creating a poll is a great way to ask students a question and to get answers. So we're talking a lot about opinions, and one of the articles we've been writing lately in our class is about school uniforms. Should schools have a uniform policy? And it could be just a simple yes or no. But what I like about this is not only is there a poll, again, I want to encourage that conversation and students to share opinions, students to share facts. So right now we've already created an assignment and we've created a poll here in Edmodo. If I just wanted to give basic directions or some information, I could create a note. If I wanted to create an alert, something that I want to stand out for my students, I can simply do that by clicking here as well. And lastly, what I find really cool is I can create a quiz by using this function. And the quiz can be multiple choice, true, false, short answer, or fill in the blank. What's nice is once you have your student accounts set up, students will go in and take that quiz, and you'll get a grade book within Edmodo for you to see those grades. So I oftentimes will give students an assessment during our workshop time where I'm able to get that score right away, or I'm able to look back and see the work that they've done. And Edmodo is a great place for all of that work to be done. And it also is a place for students to go ahead and collaborate and communicate with each other. What I like about Edmodo is they don't get the ability to communicate privately. You're always witness to any sort of conversations that students may have. So they may respond in a small group that you set up here on Edmodo by going to the groups. They may respond to the entire class, or they can send you a message, but you're always the observer or participant in that conversation. Additionally, you can add parent accounts where parents don't get a chance to talk, but like a parent coming in to observe the classroom, they get to see what's happening. And if you have any reluctant parents on wanting them to get on the social network, that's a great way to bring them on into Edmodo. So we've looked at how we use it. Let's look at more how we set up Edmodo. So just like I clicked at the beginning of Edmodo to set up as a teacher, that's going to be the same way that you're going to invite your students. So you're going to have the students click I'm a student, and they're going to give a group code that you've given them, and having them set up the username and password is kind of powerful if you have upper grade students, but might be a problem for the lower grade students because remembering passwords is somewhat problematic for them. So you might want to help them out with that. Even some of my students have email, and that works out nicely because then they're able to reset their passwords through email, and I don't have to be the one to reset it. You don't get to view their passwords, but if they're in your class on Edmodo, you're able to go ahead and reset their password with something new. And then they put in their first and last name. Once they have that group code, they're able to go ahead and log in as a student and participate in your class. It is a little overwhelming for students at first with Edmodo, so I would suggest that you start basic and just start with the notes even before assignments. And you could have students respond to a note that you post and before you start getting to assignments, and then start with quizzes, and then start building with maybe polls from there. Once you get into Edmodo, you're going to realize there's a lot more that you can do. You can embed Google Documents. You can create a library of assignments that you can come back to, or files I put a lot of PDF files that I want my students to read or to research. This is a great tool for research because I can kind of guide my students where they can be looking, and I can kind of have them go ahead and input what they have found on Edmodo. You can create a planner where the students can see what's coming up, and you can see their progress. The latest thing that Edmodo has added is apps, and this is something that I'm the least familiar with, but I began to embed information and games and learning activities in Edmodo. And here's an example. This one's called 5th grade reading, and this basically connects you to another third party that you're able to use in embedding. And there's had a lot of great apps, especially if you're doing something like flipping your classroom and wanting to get this information front loaded. There's a lot of great information that they can get from here. So I hope you have enjoyed the tour of Edmodo, and I would suggest that you just get busy and explore, get your students on, and see where Edmodo can take you, because once you get going, you can make this a great tool for collaboration, communication, research, and it's a great tool for giving assignments and getting information on your students, and it starts to build that independence with the guidance that they also need. So look forward to hearing what your thoughts on Edmodo are and hear how you're using it. And look for me on Edmodo by searching for Ryan Armitage. Talk to you soon.